And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gym and the Crypto episode 1235. Today is Friday, June 28th, 2024. I'm King here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto most days, Monday through Friday at 10ish. Today's top story: spot Bitcoin ETFs reverse 7-day outflow streak. Kraken's Jesse Powell donates $1 million in crypto to Trump campaign. Bitcoin ETF issuer Ben Eck files for Solana ETF in the US. Spot Solana ETF might 9x the price of Sol. Logan Paul sues Coffeezilla for defamation over crypto zoo videos. And Coinbase sues SEC FDIC over FOIA non-compliance. But first and foremost, of course, let's go ahead and take a quick look at these prices. Ooh, looking good, actually. Listen, anything honestly that's over 40 or 50K right now is awesome. You just want to maintain that until we start to hedge on over to next year. We'll see a pump, a real pump actually happening. So all good right now. This is good news that the price of Bitcoin is still going sideways. It means the technology is good, still hasn't been hacked, and it's only public perception that's changing with it. So with that being said, let me go ahead and find these prices for the day. There we go. Boom. All right. Bitcoin's coming in at $61,278, down 1.39%. Ethereum at $344 or $345, down 0.49%. And again, like I said, with Bitcoin having this sideways movement and volatility, to see Ethereum still stand at around 34 to 3,600 is great, people. This is a great sideways movement for Ethereum. I don't see it dipping much lower unless we see a like 57,000 Bitcoin. So with that being said, if you're hedging on this Ethereum ETF being released here in the next few weeks or months or sometime this summer and having some type of pump, this could be the free money you're looking for. I mean, as Bitcoin is being volatile, it's still holding its value. So that says a lot. Number 4, BNB at $574, down 0.74%. Or Solana, we'll be talking about a lot today, is up 10% on the week, but down 3% on the day at $143. Number 8, Toncoin, $7.59, down 1.35%. And number 10, Cardano at 38 cents, down 0.89%. Let's see, trending tokens are TARS AI, Mogutu, sounds like a Dragon Ball Z character, and IO.net. Recently added is MAGA Moji. The Big Debate, hilarious. The Big Debate has one, and Fast Token. Fear and Greed Index is at a 46. I think last time I was on was at 55, so it has dropped about 9 points since. Bitcoin dominance at 53%, and Ethereum has actually pumped up a full percent since last time. Ethereum dominance is at 18.2%. If you remember last time, it was at 17 point something. So again, as we get closer to that possible ETF date, I think we'll continue to see Ethereum dominance climb until the big ETF thing happen. I think we'll see a minor version of what we saw with the Bitcoin ETFs, and that's we'll see a smaller pump than what we saw. Bitcoin ETFs, there was a large pump. I think we went from like 50K essentially to 70 almost. So I think we'll see a smaller pump with Ethereum. It won't last as long either, but it will be a nice up. And the reason why is because after it kind of starts to happen, let's say we get the big Ethereum ETFs, the companies are going to do the same type of wash trading we saw with Bitcoin already, where they're just going to rebalance and move money from other accounts on over to make the Ethereum thing look good. But they won't be moving the same amounts as they did with Bitcoin. The reason why is because it isn't as secure, right? It's proof of stake. There's corporate interest in it. There is not as decentralized. So when you talk about just Bitcoin as a whole, I feel like these companies were confident that, hey, we can actually dump a lot of money into this and kind of get it right back out without messing up portfolios or being a fear of something bad happening. Whereas with Ethereum, it's like, all right, what's the gas fee, right? You throw $10-20 million in it from an account, and you plan to withdraw it or pivot it or transfer it or whatever. What will the gas fee be for that in and of itself? So when you start doing that type of accounting, and you're looking at these funds that are as big as Fidelity and BlackRock, they have to, again, with Bitcoin, you can do, hey, we can send $500 million from, like I used the example, the Steel Fund or whatever account, and we can bring that over to Bitcoin. And that's going to cost us maybe $5 or $10 in transaction fees. Now, to do that with Ethereum, to say, hey, we're going to take the same 500 million we took from Steel to put into Ethereum, that may cost you I don't know what 100 million in gas fees. No, seriously, it literally might be like 50 million, 10 to 50 million dollars in gas fees. Okay. No company or the firm is going to say, yeah, we're okay with taking that loss just to get some Ethereum exposure. Like that's not going to happen. So I don't see Ethereum's ETF taking off the same way as Bitcoin. But the importance of the Ethereum ETF wasn't necessarily to have Ethereum as an ETF or to pump that, but it was to open the door for crypto ETFs. So I think the biggest thing about the Ethereum ETF we'll be talking about is the fact that it's opening the door. It's a gateway drug, baby, for degens. It is a gateway. I was gonna try this little bit of Ethereum first. It shouldn't do anything because it's proof of work. It's proof of stake now. Oh man, they changed the ingredients on me. Look, then next thing you know, oh man, I gotta have some of that Solana juice too, baby. You get some of that Solana in you. I heard it's a tone coin ETF down the pipe. You get some of that. Next thing you know, you're down there in the dark alleys with the Floki, Inu, Shiba, Dogecoin crowds trying to get any type of degen fix you can get off of ETF. All right, that's where we're headed to. I've already said it. The proof is in the pudding. We'll be talking about that today. But until then, just know that in the short term, Ethereum is a great place to try to get a quick flip as these ETFs happen this summer, if they are to happen this summer, as is already being said. So that's pretty cool to see. All right, really quick, let me give some shout outs. What is going on? What up, though, everybody? Laura Smith, Miriam, Tommy, 5150, Gamer. What's going on, Johnson? Jake Fever. Oh man, I know, Jake. That's my fault, man. Listen, I just had a DJ weekend, man. I told y'all 1, 2, 3, 4. I went ahead and hit up Vegas, folks. Well, started off bad. Okay, here's the thing you don't want to do, and that's go to Vegas with a pocket full of cash. Usually, I only have a couple hundred. I'll lose it a couple times. I piecemeal the ATM, and like that way, after like my third trip to ATM, I start to feel bad about it. What you don't want to do is go there with a pocket full of cash. That way, the second ATM trip is a serious one, and the third one is even worse. Okay, I started off on a terrible trip doing degen things. It was bad. I waited about 48 to 72 hours before I went back to the tables. And what do you know? I still got a good score. I think I'm about 20-3 against casinos right now. I got everything back to last night, folks, before I hit the plane. I literally gambled from about 3 a.m. to about 7 a.m. or whatever. It was just probably 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. I had to get it all back. So luckily I got it back. It was essentially a free Vegas trip. What that means you won, okay? It got ugly, folks. It got ugly. Janine, what's going on? Crypto and Focus. But Jake, that's why I owe you one, bro. I got you today. Yimmy, what's going on? Let's see. Wisdom, hi, Ben. With Coinbase, Ben, main custody partners should be cheap on base. After ETF, Ethereum gas fee is going to be like mortgage payments. Hilarious, but probably true. That's a good point. Will Ethereum kill itself by having an ETF, right? You get some of the old people who had begged some money, some of the new people who are ready to jump in and jump out, get money. But what about the people who stay in Ethereum and say, this is the future of this ETF? Janine might be right. Those gas fees might end up looking like some mortgage payments. Like, what if that were to happen where like a gas fee is all of a sudden because it's an Ethereum ETF and the network is clogged? Now we're looking at $3,000 gas fee. So even if you get in, you make a shit ton of money. Like you say, you make 30K, 50K, nothing crazy, right? Something decent, to help your year or your life out, depending on who you are. But let's say you get like a nice little 30 to 50K, or 15 to 20K, and that gas payment is literally $2,000 to withdraw. It's $300 right now to withdraw just a few $1,000s. So it wouldn't surprise me. You're right, Janine. Holy shit, it could be a mortgage payment. Pardon me, I said I'll work on it. They'll use a layer 2 for the Ethereum ETF. One doubt it. Keep line. What up, though? Let's see. What else do we have? The amount you're sitting doesn't affect the gas price individually, but if the entire network is essentially clogged and isn't scaling the proper way, which is why they switched to proof of stake, or one of the reasons they said, then it would be kind of messed up. What? A WP, I don't even know what a WPT is. You got to throw that one out there. I'm not going to give no emotion to that one yet. All right, let's see. Top story of the day. What do we have going on today? Spot Bitcoin ETFs. All right, got to talk about Bitcoin's price. Kind of already started on it, but let me go ahead and finish. What I said was true. Looks like at least I would say realistically say 7% off the top of my head. I haven't done the actual calculations. I know some of you are going to be like, it's actually 8.75%. It's 10%. I don't know. Let's say 7 to 12% of Bitcoin's price right now is dependent upon the ETF flow. A, B, ETFs, the money that's going in and out of ETFs. I want to make sure I call this again super clear since they're doing it in our market with exchanges. And once again, why am I doing this and exchanges aren't? You have to have somebody on your team that's this brilliant. Okay. If not, talk to me. I'll give you some other military vets I know and active duty that can come work for you all. But by and large, like eh, they're wash trading. If I was in exchange right now, who all these exchanges were under attack from the federal government for essentially manipulating or wash trading, whatever, are you kidding me? How do you have ETFs and you claim you have all this money flowing in, which I told you they are literally just taking it from one portfolio, one account to the other. It looks to be that now. Then all of a sudden you have these dull weeks. You don't have weeks where it's just like, all right, we got 50 million this week, 100 million next week, 300 million this week, 50 million this week. And then it's like, not even is it zero, it's negative. This past few weeks, Bitcoin is actually, or the Bitcoin ETF capital is actually flowed out. It goes along with the article we read where I guess the on Wall Street in the traditional sector, they're looking at other investment opportunities and they may want to peel off. And to be fair, this article that came out a week or so ago saying that was actually right. What came first, the chicken or egg? Did the Bitcoin price start to dip first, or did it dip after some of these institutions start to rebalance their capital? Who knows, right? But one thing's for sure, two things for certain, is that Bitcoin ETFs, they do have about, let's say, 7 to 12% of the Bitcoin market cap as far as what that price point is going to be. So as of June 25th, the 11 spot Bitcoin funds that debuted in January have seen net inflows of 14.42 billion. It actually reversed a 7-day outflow streak, which is why the price dipped. I want to make mention of this because the last 48 hours, while it hasn't been a lot, we're seeing about $31 million of net inflows. Again, a great reversal from the past 7 days, which saw $1.1 billion in total outflows from the spot Bitcoin, or if you're reading Cointelegraph like me, the sport Bitcoin, as it says here. Now, again, to me, this is just wash trading. It's market manipulation. And it's crazy that they're essentially allowed to do this because if I were BlackRock and Fidelity, once again, you can pretty much predict the price of Bitcoin. You can leverage trade that on the back end from another capital or wealth institution. Example, Three Arrows Capital, right? The whole FTX debacle where you found out Three Arrows was moving money here, FTX was moving money here, Alameda was doing this. If I'm BlackRock, I'm doing the same thing right now. Okay. We know for certain, in order not to mess up our books and for possible portfolio account holders not to be pissed off at us if they find out they're exposed to Bitcoin when we haven't let them know, what we'll do is only put a certain amount in and bring it out before quarterly updates, something we need to pay attention to. We'll put capital in and we'll bring it out before big dips we're anticipating. We'll put capital in, we'll pull it out whenever we're doing a big trade. That is spot on what's going on right now. I think they're putting capital in, they're pulling out, they're rebalancing, or whatever you want to call it. And at the same time, it would only make sense for institutions this large to have third parties making leverage trades on different platforms that would complement these type of moves. For example, if I'm BlackRock Fidelity, and I know next week we're gonna have about $1 billion leave Bitcoin ETFs, that's probably gonna make the price dip. Why would I not short it? They do these things and don't tell me, oh, well, come on. Really, the same people who were selling you bad mortgages in 2008 and then banking that you wouldn't buy them back. So they literally have the same bank selling you a mortgage that they know you can't pay. And then they're shorting it as well, saying that, hey, not only are we selling this to these people and we're telling them that, hey, everything's good, but we know they can't pay it, we're going to bet on the fact that they can't pay it either and make double the money. That is what's happening right now. They're saying, hey, we have this Bitcoin ETF, Ethereum soon, and every other crypto ETF. We're going to dress it up and make it look like it's selling by essentially pivoting, rebalancing, and wash trading within our own institutions. And once that happens, we're going to back end trade it, right? We're going to go high leverage scenarios, whether we're shorting it or we're longing it, and we're going to make even more money. So we're not only going to make this ETF money, which is going to be great, but we're going to make this back end money that nobody's even going to know about. That's like, you are crazy if you don't think that's happening right now. So it's interesting to me to see if this is going to be investigated, what's going to be talking to town about it. I doubt it. This brings me back to my point. when it comes to the SEC, Gary Gensler, was like, it's about to get crazy, people. This is just with Bitcoin I'm talking. They, and by they, the federal government, regulators, institutions, and politicians, you will not be able to keep up with ETFs as soon as it gets down to the Dogecoin level. As soon as we break the top 10 and we're like, well, why not this ETF that's number 300? Well, why not? Like, how did they get one a week? As soon as we break the top 10 of just, or we get more than 5 crypto ETFs, whichever comes first, it is over with. It will be like whack-a-mole once again. This market is going to get crazy. I mean, honestly, the only people who are going to be paying taxes in crypto are going to be the people who just made that much, or the people who are just super sloppy with it for the most part, where like you're doing 50K transactions. Well, I guess you qualify as making that much. But my point is, by and large, the retail market will not be like, unless you're giving them your, those are the two. The people who make that much money and the people who are just being upfront saying, hey, I've traded in crypto. These are my Excel sheets, CSVs. Other than that, it's going to be whack-a-mole. It's going to be impossible to keep up with all this. And this may actually be a good thing for the retail market, because this is going to make the federal government start to key in on the same way they keyed in on exchanges. They're going to key in on these wealth management. Like, why go after the retail market when it's going to take forever in a million court cases? Well, we can just pull a Binance, go after a BlackRock, go after a Fidelity, go after one of these bigger firms, and just say, hey, at one time we want $2 billion, $3 billion, whatever else. But by and large, the bullshit's happening. And I guess this is good for Bitcoin in the short term. Long term, not so much, because of the market manipulation that's possible. That's definitely going to happen. So that's that. And also with that, speaking of market manipulation and what's going to happen next, Kraken Jesse Powell's in the news. I saw a couple cool comments. Let me check out some comments real quick. Still just a database and not decentralized. You know it. Let's see. Will Solana ETF survive once it hits market, and then Solana and Windows 95 breaks down again? Hilarious. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm saying, okay, Omni's saying, so I'm saying the price is rocky due to Bitcoin ETF exploit through the fund. Yes and no. Is rocky going down because of that? So I think Bitcoin's natural progression is going to be going up because it only makes sense. It works. Mass adoption continues to happen on a daily basis. But yes, the reason why we are getting these weird sideways movements right now, and even the dips, I am attributing that to Ethereum, or excuse me, to the Bitcoin ETF. And not necessarily saying that, again, if they decide to rebalance the funds one day and pull out money, it'll go down, or they put in money, it'll go up by large percentage points. I think that's the impetus to make the price point, to make the psychological trading happen. So what I mean is that if a Bitcoin ETF, if I say today or next week, like they just did, essentially do $1.1 billion in outflows, that may not crash the market, or do it might only account for 5 to 7%, but that may be enough psychologically for other investment firms who might not even have a Bitcoin ETF to say, well, we need to reduce our exposure, right? It may be enough for traders or holders, anybody, to say, oh my God, what's going on? Just was that 70? We're going in the wrong direction. We're at 60. This is enough for me to reduce my exposure as well. And you start to see that slippery sliding cycle happen. So from a psychological standpoint, yes, I think it's rocky due to the ETFs. And again, if it weren't the ETFs, it'd just be something else, right? Like, that's the game the government has been trying to play right now. What can we do to keep this as low as possible before mass adoption hits and we can't control it? Jake said the Ethereum ETF is going to explode. They're going to sell the hell out of that the wrong way. Silver to Bitcoin and gold. Lower market cap equals higher gains. Don't chase money, chase Bitcoin. There you go. You already know it. All right, there we go. What else do we have going on? Kraken's Jesse Powell donates $1 million in crypto to Trump campaign. I think it's fair to say the crypto market, at least above the board, right? I'm sure Wall Street behind the scenes are throwing out money left and right to politicians, but at least above board, I would say the crypto market has probably given some of the biggest donations to politicians in history. I'm doing FTX. You just had the Gemini twins, the Winklevoss twins. Now you have Kraken. Essentially saying the same thing. The co-founder backs Trump with $1 million in Ether, supporting pro-crypto policies against regulatory crackdowns. All right. So I'll say this. I've already said it a few times in a few different shows. I'll just say it again one last time. I think the debate, which I didn't watch, but I saw some of the points on it, talking points. I think it reinforces the fact that the federal government and mass adoption as a whole, at least in the United States, doesn't want Bitcoin and cryptocurrency yet. It didn't come up. I doubt that it does come up. If anything, and I'm not blaming Trump for this, but this was a good way for him and his team, essentially just to get some like niche voters, right? Like I'm trying to see what else you could shout out. Like rap's too popular now, so people do the rap thing, so that's too popular. I don't know, like all of a sudden I'm just wearing the window washers of America shirt. I support window washers this, window washers that. I love you, window washers, right? And like that's not going to come up in the debate. We're not going to be talking about window washing and all this other stuff, but that doesn't mean it's still not a community that can give me another, 100,000 votes at the very least, or a community that can bring in another $2 to $3 million of donations, right? So I think that's the way the administration is looking at it. So with that being said, I'm kind of on the fence with, the crypto donations to the administration, because at best, which is still a great thing, let me be clear, it's still a great thing, but at best, even if Trump won, I think he would just ignore Bitcoin and crypto until his last year again. It'll almost be like pardoning criminals, right? His last year, maybe his should be his fourth year if he were to win again, or his seventh or eighth year. The best case scenario after ignoring it for 3 years would be he say, okay, fine, we'll decrease this tax, or will be no tax. You're allowed to do this. I don't think that will come until years later toward the end. Best case scenario, he ignores it. Now, the worst case scenario is what we have right now, and that is not a great space to be in with the Biden administration's view on Bitcoin and crypto specific. I know some of you are going to be, but the one person says mean things, the other one, okay, they're both the same to me. Okay, the fact that you all think they're different is hilarious to me anyway, but that's another conversation. To me, they are the exact same people, represent many of the same things. Two wings of the same bird, okay? And the fact that they're both old and has shown themselves to have, like, literally they've both been racist in the past. They're the same people, okay? One person just out front with it a little bit more, and even then, I don't think he's that racist as much as the asshole. The other person just a little bit behind the scenes with it, okay? He won't say it to your face. Regardless, same person. My point is that with these being the same people, I don't know how much crypto donations or Trump getting reelected will change our marketplace. I will say again, if you were to get reelected, the best thing will be we be ignored again, which is a good thing for us. Is just like, hey, for the people who are actually hitting base hits out here in crypto, they want to be ignored. They don't want to be on the scene or none of that. So being ignored is a good thing. But I don't know. It can go either way, folks. If Biden does win again, do I see him ramping up the efforts even more? Not really. And here's why. He did it the first time to win the re-election. So if he were to win the re-election, I don't think listen, this man's in his twilight years, like for career-wise and like life-wise. I don't see him saying like, I'm going to spend the last years as a politician and community, servicing the American people to destroy and to take out crypto. I don't see that. I think he did it that much right now in these last few years because it's like, yo, I can get this money. I can show people I lower national debt. We can run on this, blah, 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 blah. But after the deal is done, after he wins again, if that were the case, I just don't see him aggressively pursuing crypto. I can see his agencies doing it and him not checking it. So I can see Gary Gensler go crazy again, like, hey, we suing everybody. I can see the FDIC, the CFTC, the NRA or NFA, excuse me, the future. I can see all them going crazy and him just standing on the sideline like, hey, I don't know. I can't control him. But I don't see him really pressing the Bitcoin crypto issue if he were to win re-election again. Those are my thoughts. So my point is, if either one of them won, the current administration, we just continue to get the same type of pressure we had. I don't think it'd be anything new that much. If the old guy wins again, Trump comes back, best case scenario will probably get ignored. It's not like he's gonna, I don't know, go back and look at Biden policies to crypto and reverse it. I don't think it'll go that far, to be honest, unless he were just to spite everyone. Yeah, good cop, bad cop. Exactly. Same shit, man. Exactly. You already know. Hyben said, yeah, whoever wins, it won't matter. Omni said, rather my transaction be slow finalizing than worrying about Windows 95 shit. Y'all talking about Solana again and Ethereum. Reggie, what's going on? Reggie Middleton said Trump is as anti-crypto as Biden. It's okay. See, I didn't even read your comment. Exactly. And Obama was more pro-crypto than all of them who decided to go after Veritasium, Ripple, Telegram, Block One, and dozens of others. Admin names rhyme with rump. Okay, so exactly. That's my point too. Neither one of them are like, yeah, let's. This is the hot the Kamala Harris thrown on hot sauce at the Breakfast Club to eat food in front of people all of a sudden. Like, oh man, people fell for it too. Or Hillary Clinton did it too. I think Hillary Clinton had the hot sauce. Everybody doing the hot sauce now. VPs and hot sauce have to stop. Let's see. Wall Street is going to rotate in and out of crypto to pump traditional stocks. You already know it. So in reality, Gensler was trying to save us when he was denying the ETFs. I think so on that one. I'm not gonna say he was, he probably was trying to save Wall Street first, but I think he also saw like how crazy this could get, and it's about to get that crazy. And with that being said, it is mother effing official. Bitcoin ETF issuer Van Eck files for Solana ETF in the US. If you remember, Van Eck already has the spot Bitcoin ETF. And I mean, listen, people, here's the deal. As we were getting the Bitcoin ETFs, as we were talking about it, one of my things with the Bitcoin ETF was like, if we get a Bitcoin ETF, we're going to have an everything ETF. And I don't know how this is going to go. And we're here. It is happening. It is going to happen. We're going to have an everything ETF. And there's not going to be any stopping it. Okay. Shout out to Van Eck for having the cojones to drop first. But according to Van Eck's head of digital assets research, Van Eck is the first company in the US to file for a Solana ETF. We don't need to go into detail about this. We've talked about it in detail many times before. It's going to happen. Not only will Solana one happen, you're going to get a, what else do we have in top 10 right now? Everything. I mean, if it's up to Binance, you'll get a BNB ETF, which will really be a hustle in the scam. You're going to get a Cardano ETF if they can have it. You're going to get a Dogecoin ETF if it's possible. If it can be ETF, you'll get the ETF. Why? Because that dilutes the crypto market, that slows it down. And like, you keep the game going. You just can keep the money game going. It makes sense to make these banking fake derivative products of this actual market. So, I mean, the news of this is the headline. It is official. A large wealth institution, a large capital institution here in the United States has officially filed for a Solana ETF. The same way we saw Bitcoin ETFs, it took 8 years to get it, 10 years to get it. I do not think it'll take that long. But if it were to take that long, they're ready to wait it out, and it will happen, I believe. Why? Because you got corporate money, you got a community, and you just have these banks who want it to happen. It's going to happen. Now, why do we care about a Solana spot ETF? We're already kind of seeing it, but we care about it because of the money, right? You degens, today is FBF, fuck Bitcoin Friday, so we are going to talk about degen moves. Spot Solana ETF might 9x the price of Solana, says GSR Markets. Really quick, I'm going to go ahead and go to calculator. What is Solana? Say 144, I think they 145. I'm going to go 145 times 9. See what we have. $1,305. Wow. I think that is super conservative. A 9x is $1,300. I think that is super conservative. You all are crazy if you think Solana is going to 9x and none of that capital will go back into marketing, pushing narratives, blah, 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 blah. Oh no, the psychological warfare is going to go crazy. That if it thing crosses, listen, if it crosses 1,000, it ain't stopping at 1,300. Let me tell you that. If it crosses 1,000, it's going to 2,000 to 3,000 people. Okay, like expeditiously. I want to make that clear. If Solana passes $1,000, because that's what that is. The 9x from right now is $1,300. Excuse me, $1,300. I did say that right the first time. In my brain, I looked at it wrong, but I said it right. $1,300, 9x. Again, it doesn't make it doesn't make sense psychologically. Like, you're not gonna, like, the crypto market doesn't stop at $1,300. Okay, let's pump the brakes. We did it. Like, no. If anything, it'll go clean 1,500. Okay, that's the psychological metrics you kind of see. So no, if it goes past 1,000, which it would be an 8x, it's definitely going to go to almost 2,000 easy. B, if it 9x's, I could see it 20xing, because this is still, like, as much as we lay on to Solana, here's the deal about Solana, and they have a lot of work to do for sure. The only play, like, I won't say only, like, where I give the props to the Solanas and Cardanos, even though Cardano has shown they really didn't do a good job of this, is I'm actually hoping you did fork a lot of the code and that you are copying code. I'm hoping you have lessons learned, right? I'm hoping Solana is looking at Ethereum like, okay, they did this right, this wrong, this right, this wrong. We have the same amount of capital. We can pay the same type of developers and make it happen. Cardano, I thought they were doing that, as many of you did, but I don't think they did. I thought Cardano, what I'm thinking they did is like, make it look like we're doing stuff, keep making it look like we're doing stuff, then we're going to make it look like we're doing some stuff. But in reality, they're not really doing anything, right? So with Solana, at least they're trying. They are having issues. But my thought is these competitors, these secondary layer twos, Ethereum, and everything else in between, I am hoping they're not just bait and switches and pump and dump scams, and that they're actually learning from Ethereum's best and worst practices and building off of that. So if Solana's actually doing that, then 9x is easy. Like they'll 20x it. If they're not doing that and they are just a flashier Cardano, then we'll still see a pump, but we'll see that eventual dip. Regardless, Solana ETFs come, it's a pump. Ethereum ETFs come, it's a pump. But like Jake Fever said, do not forget about Bitcoin. The reason why they're doing all this is to get your brain off of the Bitcoin. All right. Speaking of Bitcoin and getting your brain off some stuff, Logan Paul. Logan Paul is in the news. He sues Coffeezilla for defamation over crypto zoo videos. Wow. Logan Paul claims YouTuber Stefan Findison, also known as Coffeezilla, maliciously and repeatedly made false statements about his NFT project, Crypto Zoo. I'm not going to get into the details of this story. I really don't care. If you bought an NFT from Logan Paul or any other influencer out there, that says a lot anyway. So whatever happens, happens. I don't even care enough to cover it, whether it's clickbaity or not. And speaking of which, clickbait, I don't even think I changed the title. Okay, I got to change the title today. What's the title today? We're going to do Logan Paul. Are we going to do it? No, I'm Solana ETF. Is that what it's called? ETF, Solana ETF. And what else are we going to do? Solana ETF. And who is the first? Oh, man, I guess it is. It's not much news today. Okay. Logan Paul v. Coffeezilla. So here's the thing about this. I saw the videos that Coffeezilla made, and I might have spelled his name wrong in here. Oh, well. I saw the videos he made and how he's kept track of it. And what a BS move. That's the best way. I had to try to reel in the profanity. What a BS move by Logan Paul to sue him. Here's the bottom line. Logan Paul said he was gonna have NFTs. He was gonna do X, Y, and Z. It didn't come out. When it did come out, I guess it wasn't what he said. And everything is all jacked. His project was jacked up. He said, we're going to have a great NFT project for you all. You're going to make money. It's going to be a good time. The project didn't come out the right way he said it did, or at all. Even I can't even remember. It's a trash project. He said he would refund people money. Coffeezilla covered all this, and he said he would keep up with it to see when he would refund everyone money. And every few months, he would continue to make a video until this happened. This never happened. I remember one of the videos Logan Paul tried to reach out, apologize. Logan Paul actually did an apology video to him as well. So it's funny to see him actually coming back out. But I guess the pressure got a little bit too hot. He's mad that Coffeezilla is shining a light on his dirty practices in work, and now he wants to sue him. And this is why we have regulators in this space. Again, Logan Paul filed a defamation lawsuit on June 27th against Coffeezilla on YouTube over videos he produced about Paul's failed Crypto Zoo NFT project in 2022. And instead of Logan Paul doing the right thing, he's saying we're just going to keep the money, we're going to sue Coffeezilla, and we're going to act like nothing ever happened. Again, I'm not even going to get into it. This is some I mean, the lawsuit says Findison knew full well that Paul had never set out to scam anybody, but to the contrary, had always intended to build a legitimate blockchain-based game. Here's the problem in this space, because believe me when I say, believe me, people, there are a lot of people you love. There are a lot of people in this space who do not take responsibility for their actions. It wasn't my fault. Was this? If I accidentally shoot you, is it not a murder or attempted murder? Is it nothing? Is it? You don't get to make devastating mistakes and just say, well, you know, it wasn't intentional. Come on, man. So in this case right here, it's not about, I didn't mean to scam everyone. I didn't mean for everyone. You did, man. You did scam everyone. There's so many scammers running around right now scamming, and they're trying to not seem like a scammer because their thing is like, well, I didn't mean to, or that wasn't intentional, or this, I wanted to. And it's like, honestly, I would rather you tell me you meant to. I would rather Logan Paul say, yeah, I meant to scam you. That way I can be like, oh, he's brilliant. This was a brilliant scam. But instead, you're doing the whole FTX Sam Beckman free. I didn't know. Oh, my bad. What is it, Logan? Logan Paul's another one. Which one is it? Are you super smart and you this big brain guy, you know how to make money and doing everything else, or are you don't? Are you incompetent? Which one is it? I'm tired of this. And believe me when I say it is not just Logan Paul. It's a lot of people in this space as well that on Mondays they're geniuses and then on Tuesdays they're, I don't know what happened, guys. My bad. A lot of people in this space, believe me. So many scammers in this space. Is unfortunate. So yeah, that's my thing. I don't even want to talk about it. It's unfortunate to see Logan Paul isn't the only one. And by and large, we're gonna have to turn to the show me state. You're gonna have to start telling people to show me here in the crypto space because what they're telling you ain't what they telling you. Let me tell you that for shit. Sure, I'll tell you that. What do we got going on in the comments? Yeah, if you pay attention to stuff like that about Logan, you already lost. Like, that's what I'm saying. Brian, we got to talk about it because there are real people who tune in who would be like, man, what happened to that Logan Paul NFT? And it's just like, they really asked me. I got to really give them an answer. So, no, I definitely understand. Brian says Solana and I having issues. Hey, I don't know about that. You say you stay in Mississippi. I'm around these people daily with the job. Okay. All right. Hopefully Solana's not having it. They have been having some down issues, but hopefully they're fixing it up. Cardano waiting like Kendrick Lamar. LOL, they're gonna pop out and show. Waiting on Solana phone to pump. Whoever wins matters. Trump, we will have more money to buy Bitcoin. Hey, you know what? Now that part is right. Okay. Jake said whoever does win the election matters because with Trump, we'll have more money to buy Bitcoin, but with Biden, we don't. That part, okay, I'll give you that. I fully agree with you on that too. Yeah. If Trump wins, we'll definitely have more money. And I can't believe people are still arguing. I saw people arguing that too. And it's like, bro, y'all, you really tell me you got more money this last 4 years than the 4 years previous? I can't say that with like straight face, straight up. At least when all the metrics are the same. Let me be clear about that. Let's see. I wish I put a leverage trade on Solana a few days ago. Not too late. Not too late. I mean, Solana's, listen, they just put in the ETF. It's not about to happen anytime soon. We still got to get Ethereum through. Unless it's just some madness where just like, yeah, we got Ethereum through and we're going to do Solana on the same day. Like, I highly doubt that's going to happen. So there are going to be plenty of times to trade Solana right now still. I expect it to dip a few more times before it pumps. So it's all good. Let's see. Just past episode 500 of the shows and notice XRP and Reggie's coin was gone after on the same day by the SEC. Oh, yeah, you already know they was going after it. It was Clinton, not Harris. Okay, with the hot sauce. No, Harris just got a recent one, man. Harris got one from like a week ago with the hot sauce, people. But it was Clinton on the Breakfast Club with the hot sauce. That part's true. But Harris got one like a week ago with the hot sauce. So I'm like, oh, man. Listen, whenever people in the White House start bringing out hot sauce, it's election time, okay? Because here's my deal. Why you don't bring out the hot sauce when it ain't election season? Why don't I see y'all on just a regular, speech trail or whatever? We're hearing in the Middle East today to talk about oil. We're here in Australia today. Oh, whoa, just pulled it out the purse. Like, oh, you got to bring it out all the time. You can't just bring it out on pivotal election moments when the cameraman catches your best angle. Now, I'm gonna need you to bust out that hot sauce. And then let's be clear. In real life, for me, I'm glad I don't vote. I would never vote for anyone who's busting out any condiments. Like, are you kidding me? No. Why are you busting? You bring condiments with you? Yeah, that's not my type of weird. I'm cool. I'm okay. I'll put Bill Clinton back in the office for getting a little oval off his head before I put somebody in office who busting out condiments. How are you supposed to be the leader of our nation and you walking around with condiments? Like, there's no one near you who will go get it or do it for you. You're the leader of our nation. You have condiments. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not voting for anybody who busts out condiments. All right. Oh, man. King is DGB too centralized. Digibyte. Listen, Digibyte, it was officially over for them. I actually called it wrong too on his last one. Digibyte had a great run for years. A lot of good money was made off of it. That's what you're talking about. If that's what you're talking about, I haven't. That's what I'm assuming. But they did us wrong a few years ago. Our community ain't been back since. All right, they hit us with a pump fake. The whole market kind of pump fakes, but DigiBuy did too. But honestly, when it did pump fake me at the time, it showed me something, because at the time Dogecoin was still pumping. It showed me the community had left. Right, the community had moved on, which does happen in some of these older, more legacy tokens. So if that's what you mean, DigiBuy, that's over and done with. All right, last but not least, story of the day. This brought happiness to me. Finally, they finally nutted up. It only took years, but Coinbase sues SEC and the FDIC over FOIA noncompliance. For those who don't know what FOIA is, I'm all too familiar with this, as I did PR for the military. I had to know about this Freedom of Information Act, essentially when you can release information and how. If it's public information, there's usually a date and times, as far as like you got to wait 3 months before this, a year, whatever, before this information can be released. But once you apply and fill out a FOIA request, whoever you fill it out to, a government agency, whatever, they have to respond to it in a timely manner and give you what you're asking for. So again, for me, when I was in the military, I would get FOIA requests for, I don't know, like there was a sailor who did X, Y, and Z, possibly, who's like whatever, like, or what happened with this mission? We want to know what happened with this mission from 10 years ago. What happened to this mission y'all just did last week? All this other stuff. It's like, all right, I don't know. We're not telling you nothing. They fill out a FOIA request. Usually the media does it. It goes through the Department of Defense or the military. Then we get in. It's like, all right, they fill out a FOIA request. Pentagon says, yes, it's okay. They'll put you in touch with the people you need to talk to, or they'll, give you the information where you need to send fax or email or whatever the information to. So it's a real thing in the government. If someone, sends out that FOIA request and everything's on the up and up and it's proper, and you decide not to respond to it, you are in the wrong criminally, I believe, as well. So Coinbase's lawsuits target the SEC. Thank you. I mean, Coinbase, could you imagine if you started suing the SEC like 8 years ago? Bro, Coinbase sued the SEC 8 years ago, they would be BlackRock right now. Like, seriously. Coinbase lawsuits target the SEC and FDIC for alleged noncompliance with FOIA requests regarding Ethereum's proof of stake transition. What I tell you, and this is what I'm saying. Shout out to Coinbase. You know what? This is why I'm going to shout out Coinbase. I know when somebody dipping in my sauce. Okay, let me just say that. Hold on. Listen, I know when somebody dipping in my sauce, people. I used to be at school and I do something one day, or and the next day, just, okay, that's like, at least give it a head nod. Shout out to whoever's at Coinbase listening to me. Somebody at Coinbase is definitely listening to me. You just thank you. Not only are they suing the SEC, but do you remember when I said if it were me, I'd just be creating like 100-page documents to slow down everything and I would counter sue? This is what that is right here. You're suing regarding Ethereum's proof of stake transition. Oh, I love it. Listen, the SEC and especially the FDIC, you don't even know enough to give out, to respond to FOIA requests on Ethereum's proof of stake transition. I believe. I don't think there's no one at the FDIC who can respond to a FOIA. If I were to say, hey, I got this FOIA request, I call up the FDIC. I say, can I talk to whoever's in the office right now who has the most seniority, whoever's in charge, officer on deck? And they give me someone. I say, hey, I've already submitted a FOIA request for Ethereum's proof of stake transition. I like the information. I can pretty much guarantee you they don't know what they're talking about. They're going to be like, wait, what? Wait, I know what a FOIA is. And I heard of Ethereum, but the proof of stake transition, what? They don't. Great job, Coinbase. Check and mate. This is how you do it right here. Coinbase has filed lawsuits against the U.S. SEC and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC, who should be keeping their nose in their own business. But nope, you want to come on and F with crypto too? Come get this work as well. According to a Fox Business report, the lawsuits filed on June 27th alleged that the SEC and the FDIC failed to comply with Freedom of Information Act requests submitted to the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. Coinbase's lawsuit accused the federal agencies of attempting to exclude the crypto industry from the banking sector. What? How many years have I been screaming this? Goodness, great. You know what? I'm actually going to take responsibility. Listen, I'm going to blame myself. Next week, I'm calling Coinbase. I'm going to call who y'all got up in there, bro? I'm going to send y'all some shows from the past. Y'all decide who y'all got up in there. This should have been done years ago. They've been messing with us. They, as in, and I know for a fact, and let me tell you how I know for a fact. There's actual high-powered lawyers who know for a fact that they've been messing with the industry. That I guarantee, if you were to subpoena or whatever it is to get them on a stand and have them on an actual court stand in trial to say like yes or no, like has this happened with the SEC? Are you aware of this happening? I can pick some for you that if they were actually on trial or they're subpoenaed to actually speak, they will have no choice and they will put some of these federal agencies in a freaking bind because of the different lawyers I worked with years ago, back in 2016, 2017, 2018, when they were telling me, no, the SEC isn't even, they're not even looking at these requests. Oh, no, the NFA is doing this. Or, I mean, hell, what about our own very own evidence in 2018 when we went to CIAA in Charlotte and I spoke to the FINRA regulator and I'm asking, like, what are your thoughts on Bitcoin? They're like, we got to regulate it. And I'm like, well, what is it? Do you know what crypto it is? Do you know what Bitcoin is? They didn't even know nothing about Bitcoin, crypto, the technology, anything. All they knew was we got to regulate it. We just got to regulate, just regulate. We got to regulate it. That's all he just kept saying. I have it. It's an old video from 2018. It's still on the channel. This is all he kept saying is got to regulate it. These agencies have been messing with us for years. The ones I know off the top of my head, again, are the SEC. I didn't even know the FDIC was involved, but I guess they are. The NFA, Futures Association, the CFTC for sure. And there's one more I'm forgetting as well off the top of my head. But they have been doing a multi-pronged attack on behalf of Wall Street. So essentially, on the behalf of 9 individuals, I will go out and guess 4 to 5 of these individuals don't even live in the United States full time or care about the United States. So to me, this is as treasonous as it gets. Like, I want to be super clear. This is as treasonous as interfering with the election. The same way they said Russia was interfering and this was in Facebook interfering. This is as treasonous. The people these agencies are working for are bankers. There are only a handful of bankers, and those handful of bankers, most of them don't live in the United States. They like this literally not working for the United States. It's treason. It's treason. So I want to be clear about those people. Death. Ain't no tar and feather for treason. Okay, death. I want them gone. Okay, it is treason going on in this country. It was jacking everything up. It was making everybody broke and everybody hate each other. They got to go, okay? That's what's happening right now with these federal agencies saying we're going to represent our constituents, which are 9 or 10 different individual bankers. 9 or 10 people we're going to represent this entire country for, and we're going to push against any type of technological advancement. We're going to push against any type of market changes. We're gonna make sure there's barriers to entry. We're going to make sure there's no competition. Like, that is as anti-American as it comes, and they're doing it for people who are only half Americans. They're not even full Americans. That is treason. Okay, like, we can't keep letting this happen. I'm laughing, but it's serious as hell. FOIA request. The FOIA request aimed at the SEC sought information on the federal agency's view on Ethereum, specifically the blockchain's shift to a proof-of-stake consensus mechanism. Coinbase asked for records related to Ethereum 2.0 and previous investigations involving Zachary Colburn and Enigma MPC through his consulting firm History Associates. Oh, I know what's happening. So more likely, the SEC, FDIC, and some other agencies thought they were going to be messing with different individuals and different projects and platforms in the space, and there would be no pushback as far as the information they found. They forgot they were a federal agency working for the public. All that investigating shit, you got all that paperwork? Yeah, we want to see what you've been writing in the notes. We want to know what you've been writing on that little stump right on that notepad. All right, I want to see it. According to legal documents, History Associates stated for nearly 2 years, a wide array of federal financial regulators, including the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, the FDIC, and the Federal Reserve Board, which I want to be clear, I don't know about the board, so I won't go far with that, but the Federal Reserve, private company. Why is a private company going after other private companies? Makes no sense to me when they get to use taxpayer money and federal backing. But I digress. And the Federal Reserve Board have used every regulatory tool at their disposal to try to cripple the digital asset industry. This FOIA lawsuit seeks to bring to light the FDIC's role in that unlawful scheme. So here's the deal. I fully agree with this. I'm glad Coinbase is finally dropping them and letting it hang a little bit and going after it. You see here, Let's see. A deliberate obstruction to understanding the legal framework behind the agency's enforcement actions. It continues on. More and more and more and more. So you get the idea. But the last thing I do want to say to Coinbase is this is as much your fault as well. If I were the SEC, if I were the SEC, the way I would shape this argument in court or whatever, oh no, Coinbase, it's too late for it to be you versus us. No, if I'm the SEC, Coinbase, you with us. You decide to go public. You decide to try to do every little regulatory hurdle out there. You welcome regulation as well as the Winklevoss twins. So it's your fault as well. You all got fucked the way you did this past year. And let's be clear, the Winklevoss twins aren't. I forgot to mention this the other day. They aren't just going with Trump because the Biden administration's. Did you all forget the Biden administration's sued the Gemini team? You remember this whole thing with Gemini and Genesis, and people's lost money, and they're going after them for like 500 million or a few quarters of $1 billion. That's why the Winklevoss twins are mad at the Biden administration. Winklevoss twins, you and Coinbase as well. Winklevoss twins welcome regulation. I remembered it. We welcome regulation. The first regulatory approved exchange in the United States. Like, you welcome it, and so did you, Coinbase. But now that the bully is doing what bullies continue to do, you thought, like, y'all really thought y'all was gonna be the bully friend that was gonna stop bullying you. No, they're gonna bully you more. You're closer. No, and now you don't get to leave. This is blood in, blood out. So no, if I was the SEC, I'd be looking at Coinbase like, hold on. Oh, here's the deal, people. You're crazy if you don't think after all these years and now Coinbase is actually giving the SEC customer data. You're crazy if you don't think there's at least one email we haven't seen, one backroom conversation, one something that's going to make Coinbase look terrible in the eyes of the general crypto community, or something even more salacious that the SEC is holding on. You're crazy if you don't think they have that. The SEC is ready to push the red button on Coinbase whenever it wants to. So Coinbase, I think, should tread lightly. I'm happy that they're finally fighting back, but you help create the monster you're fighting back against. Like, same with the Winklevoss twins and Gemini. They're like, we're giving $1 million to Trump. You created the monster. This whole thing you all did 6 to 7 years ago about wanting to be regulated. You created the monster. Now the monster is here, and let it roar. Okay, that's all we got. Other than that, I'm gonna look at some comments real quick. It is funny. Shout out to Coinbase, but it's funny that you all are now like, oh, this isn't fair. Come on, man. Y'all helped them. You helped them come after you. When you should have sued them before you gave them customer data. Before I got an email from you all and everybody else that says, hey, sorry, we had to give away your information because you did transactions. Like, that is when you should have sued them. That is when you would have had support from people like me to ensure Coinbase was still in operation. You would never have went broke. But instead, you said, no, I'm just going to go for the short-term money. We're going to go corporate interest. We're going to play the traditional game. We're going to try to turn to an institution. And then when all that didn't work, now you're like, oh, crypto community, they're coming after us. Well, good luck. Shit. Good luck. Hey, I heard it's dangerous at the dark. I don't know. Fight back, swing, block. Good luck. But the SEC is yours to handle. Coinbase. Do not wave a flag for the entire crypto industry. Honestly, the only way Coinbase could get back in my good graces were if they were to do some type of lawsuit against the SEC to the strength of changing the market to where it's like, no, we sued them and we can no longer be taxed, or we sued them, there will no longer be a crypto security. It has to be something concrete and long-standing for me to ever jump back on ship with Coinbase and the likes of that. Instead, good luck to you out there. I heard the SEC is swinging hard these days. All right, good luck. Last comments we're going to call it a day. Reggie said, chances are the Trump admin is who started the investigation against both Coinbase and Gemini. Actually, great point. Great point. People, investigations don't actually, Reggie, the only reason I'm gonna say no to that is because the news, it didn't come out to after FTX. You remember, essentially the whole FTX is what made Genesis and stuff happen. And that's how Gemini lost their money. So I would say I don't know about that one, but Coinbase, I'm with you on it. So what Reggie's essentially saying is, yeah, by the time you hear about the investigation in the news, it's already been at least like 6 months to a year underway, right? Like when you hear about it, that's because they're like, yeah, we got you already. We just trying to, now we're going to see how you're going to play it. So I'm with Reggie. Like for some of these, things that could have been started under the Trump administration. Biden just picked it up. Like, again, birds of the feather flock together. Trump administration, hey, we got this one you ain't gonna miss, man. It's an old account. They got 100 million. You can get a piece of it. Biden administration picked it up. Hey, what's good for the American people is good for the American people, and that's getting that crypto money. Let's see what else we have. PFC Wells going on track said it was a sniping method, divide and conquer. If the big companies in the space would have stood together from back in the day, we wouldn't be where we are today. We really wouldn't. And shout out to government. They did divide and conquer. Yeah, Coinbase. You want to go public? Yeah, we can help you go public. What happens as soon as they went public? Oh, you want to lend? No, you're not going to lend. Oh, you want to get new customers? No, you're not customers. Oh, no, yeah, you're going to give us your data. Gotcha, bitch. Also, a report was put out recently that says the FDIC is $75 billion in the red. Let that sink in, folks. Yet the Biden admin is saying everything is good, financial world. I mean, it makes sense why the FDIC pivoted to crypto. Let's get that money. The banking oligarchy isn't our friend. Say they so. Listen, punch a banker today. Not let me be clear. Let me be clear. I'm not talking about the person at the front desk. I'm not talking about the people at the front desk. I'm not even talking about the bankers that sit in the office. No. I'm talking about going to one of these national conferences where you're going to see the Dino Diamond out there lying and selling cocaine. Punch one of them up. All right. Today is violence. No, I'm just kidding. No violence, people. No violence, except for the treasonous people. The death to the treason, for real. That's still happening. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. I've been saying for a while there should be a FOIA for all communications between FinCEN, SEC, FDIC, and Congress on anything related to crypto collusion. I agree with that as well, but that transparency, let's see what happens with it, right? What's up with the Foxy token? Is altcoins we buy back yet? You're right. It is prime altcoin buying season. I don't know about the Foxy token. I'm going to have to take a peek at that. But if you say, I'm taking a peek at it. Let's see. They have to respond. They don't have to give you what you're asking for, though. Hilarious. Okay, that's true. I believe every altcoin that reached all-time high last run. Okay, Jake said, I believe every altcoin that reached all-time high last run, we can't count out doing it again this run. Oh, I agree. Yeah, just about every altcoin that had action in 2021, people, it's going to have action again. The reason why is those communities are still here. Not only are those communities here, they've actually gotten bigger because a lot of people did make that money there. They told other people, of course, other people bought in at the top and they've been stuck in it for years. So I fully agree with you. Anything that went crazy last cycle, for the most part, unless it died, is going to go crazy again. So shout out to all the altcoins that's going to go crazy next year, with the exception of Hex. Smash that like and share.